Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Another major police operation in St. James-based Qahal Yahweh Church. Gunmen killed by police in shootout on Orange Street, Central Kingston. And later in sports, change in contracts for Jamaica Scorpion players. Thanks for joining us. I'm Anthony Lugg. Here are the details. The Integrity Commission has ruled that former government senator and state minister Leslie Campbell be charged for failing to provide information relating to his statutory declaration. In a ruling tabled a short while ago in the Senate, the Commission determined that Mr. Campbell breached Section 43(1)(b) of the Integrity Commission Act. The Integrity Commission stated that Mr. Campbell filed statutory declarations but did not provide additional information. Among the outstanding information requested by the Commission, details on the account balance of a bank loan. The Commission made 39 written requests, but only 5 responses were provided. And we will have more details of this developing story later in Primetime News. There has been another major police operation at the St. James-based Qahal Yahweh Church. Officers swooped down on the premises in an early morning raid. TVJ News understands more than 20 people, including the leader of the church, were taken into custody for questioning. This latest operation follows a similar one on June 9, which was spearheaded by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. 23 children and 15 adults were removed from the compound amid allegations of child abuse. A man is dead, a police officer in serious condition, and a woman injured after a bizarre incident this morning. The dead man is suspected to have committed suicide. Reports are that the woman and the now deceased man were traveling in a red Honda CR-V along Old Hope Road when she jumped from the moving vehicle. An off-duty policeman who was reportedly passing the incident stopped to assist. The driver of the vehicle reversed, hitting the police officer. He sped off. A search was conducted and the driver was found dead in an apparent suicide on a property in Beverly Hills. And if you or someone you know is struggling with their mental wellness, please contact the Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Helpline at 888-NEW-LIFE. That's 888-639-5433. The police are now on the crime scene along Orange Street in the Central Kingston Police Division. Reports are that sometime after 10 this morning, a group of men traveling in a motorcar shot and killed a man along Orange Street. While leaving the scene, the men engaged a police team in a shootout. It's reported that during the encounter, 2 of the men were shot. A policeman is said to be injured in the incident.
Whilst escaping, they engaged a group of policemen who returned the fire, during which at least 2 of the perpetrators were shot. One we know died from the shootout. We know the vehicle subsequently crashed and the driver of the vehicle was found appearing to be dead.
Okay. Is there...
One policeman was injured during the shooting.
The Manchester police are investigating the shooting of 3 men, 2 fatally in the parish. According to reports, on Thursday, 4 persons, including a woman, were traveling in a motorcar. It's understood that they stopped at a bar and jerk center along the Williamsfield Main Road in Manchester. As they exited the car, another vehicle came behind with heavily armed men who opened fire. After the shooting, it was discovered that the 3 were shot. The woman escaped with minor injuries. One of the deceased has been identified as 42-year-old Alfredo Ferguson. Anyone with information that can assist the police are being asked to contact the Manchester Police or Crime Stop at 311. The Kingston West and St. Andrews Central Police Divisions are investigating the shooting death of a man on Lyndhurst Road Tuesday evening. The man, a mechanic, was killed at a shop. But as our reporter Jamaica Maitland found out, the killing is said to be a reprisal for a double murder in Trenchtown on Sunday.
3 murders, 2 police divisions, and 1 issue.
gang violence. It's the theory of what led to the killing of Akeem Duane, otherwise called Esco, a 27-year-old mechanic on Lyndhurst Road. His mother, Lisa, is traumatized.
Tuesday evening, 4:28, my son support time work is and go buy food in the liquor shop. Yeah? And them kill him. But to God be the glory. Leave all vengeance to God.
According to his mother, Duane was allegedly threatened by a relative of a victim of a double murder in Arnett Gardens on Sunday. He tried making the report at the Denham Town police station. However, the police were not able to complete it. But why?
On the morning, him on him way to work. And one of the Steve's mother, when he reach up to her, him say, she said to him, say, when I feel like when I have a pass and not get it, all on a family I will get it. But carry him by the Denham Town police station. They're going to make a report. Then when we reach down there, them say them can't take my report because she never confront him and she don't call him name.
According to the head of the Kingston West Police Division, certain information was needed to process the report. And less than 24 hours later, Duane was killed. The family forced to relocate from a community they've lived in for over 10 years.
The heart rending, yeah? And I be a church, them asking be a church. People just keep coming and say, be careful, look out on the eye, look out on the eye. So no, you have to left, yeah? And we're not trouble them. We're not in a problem with nobody. We don't know what them here for. I don't know.
What does that mean, like relocating from the community?
Yes.
Reports are that Duane allegedly provided the vehicles for the murders on Sunday. Jaheim Walker, otherwise called Jaja, and Tajay O'Neill were killed. But the mother is denying those reports. Additionally, the establishment where Duane worked also said it did not have any luxury vehicles at the time. A lot of times parents would say their children are not involved in anything like that. Are you sure?
110%.
Yeah.
I tell you that. If you should run a survey in the community and outward, you can hear it. My pitney, no, that type of person.
The police believe the murders are linked to the ongoing gang conflict between warring factions in sections of Sunlight Street and Zimbabwe in the community. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
And it's time for a break, but stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're continuing the news. Residents of communities around the Rio Cobra in St. Catherine are being empowered to help protect their own rights to a healthy environment as they and other stakeholders demand answers from the state about protecting the river from future pollution. The matter was addressed at a town hall meeting on Wednesday. Krista Campbell has our report.
A month shy of the one-year anniversary of what's considered the largest fish kill in the Rio Cobra in St. Catherine, a town hall meeting to discuss lingering issues. Making a presentation is international human rights lawyer and founder of environmental justice group Freedom Imaginaries, Maleni Alain. She stressed that under international law and Jamaica's own constitution, residents have a right to a healthy environment, and it's time they band together to force the authorities to better protect that right. The residents are still reeling from the effects of last July's major fish kill caused by pollution from bauxite company Windalco.
When I look at the communities impacted by the bauxite alumina industry, I'm not seeing massive salary increases. I'm not seeing beautifully paved roads. I'm not even seeing medical facilities that are comprehensive and adequate to address the illnesses that you're getting from these very industries that are promoting community development.
She says a United Nations expert on environmental rights referred to such communities as sacrifice zones, where residents pay a huge price, usually without compensation, from the operations of industries that cause harm to the environment. And while stakeholders work to compile evidence of the direct impact of such industries, environmental scientist Raymond Price points to anecdotal evidence.
When you speak to the doctors at the Linstead Hospital or other nurses and medical teams in the clinics, they will tell you that there are many cases of children at very young ages that show certain kinds of symptoms that when you look on children who live in other parts of the island, they don't show those symptoms. as much as the children that live in the sacrifice zone.
What we have also had severely is the dust nuisance.
Yes.
It destroyed the steel in the grill.
Yes.
Can you imagine what they're doing to our lungs?
Yes.
We must get some kind of response from Windalco as to how to stop it, how to better them leave than we dead off. Yes, sir.
Windalco is still before the courts on 3 separate cases of toxic spills in the Rio Cobre from 2019 to 2022. In January this year, it was forced to pay 120 fishers $131,000 each, totaling $16 million out of its $115 million environmental performance bond. Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
And it's time now for the Business Minute with Sandy Williams.
The Bank of Jamaica says its decision to hold the policy interest rate at 7% was influenced by lower inflation. The BOJ's Monetary Policy Committee unanimously decided to hold the rate offered to deposit-taking institutions on overnight placements in its latest decision, as it says recent economic developments are showing some positive signs. The rate has been at 7% since November last year. Lower inflation influenced the decision, with the annual rate of price increases as at May being 6.1%. Steadying commodity prices, including the cost of grains, fuel, and shipping prices, also influenced the move. The next monetary policy decision is to be announced on August 18th. On the international scene, Spirit Air Systems, a key supplier to Boeing, is set to reopen next week after members of the International Association of Machinists voted Thursday to ratify a tentative labor agreement and end a week-long strike. Members voted 63% in favor of the 4-year agreement, according to vote results announced Thursday. It's the first new contract that the union members at Spirit have had in 13 years. A previous 10-year deal was extended during the pandemic. The union had put the company's previous offer up to a vote earlier this month. The prior offer from the company included a 34% pay increase, a 14.7% increase in retirement benefits, and increased time off, according to the union. But rank-and-file members rejected that offer, with 79% of members voting no and 85% voted to strike. A new tentative deal was reached earlier this week. And that's the Business Minute. I'm Sandy Williams.
Thank you, Sandy. Now, time now for the top regional and international stories. Here's Karen Simpson.
In the region, the start date for the drug and money laundering trial for former Premier of the British Virgin Islands, Andrew Fahey, has been moved by a Florida High Court judge on the request of Fahey's attorney. The 52-year-old, who was meant to stand trial in mid-July, will face the courts on January 8, 2024. He is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to import a controlled substance, conspiracy to engage in money laundering, and attempted money laundering. This is in addition to a subsequent charge of interstate and foreign travel in aid of racketeering that was added in early November last year. On the international scene, the French policeman who shot and killed a 17-year-old during a traffic stop in France on Tuesday has been charged with homicide. The teenager's killing sparked unrest across the country with a spate of violent protests. Last night marked the 3rd night of demonstrations, leaving 667 people arrested. And 1 year after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, the U.S. Supreme Court makes another landmark decision. Yesterday, the High Court gutted affirmative action in college admissions. Colleges can no longer take race into consideration as a specific basis for student admissions. President Joe Biden spoke out against the decision, saying the court, quote, walked away from decades of precedent. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
And we head now to a quick break. When we return, we'll have your midday sports report. Jermaine Brown is standing by.